Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Hello, everyone at home as well. I'd like to continue the contemplation we started in our meeting yesterday evening about prayer. In an attempt not only to understand more deeply what prayer is, but to reconcile the Western tradition of prayer with the Eastern tradition of meditation. In all traditions, Eastern and Western, that there are two basic approaches. The way of negation and the way of affirmation. What I sometimes refer to as the inward-facing path and the outward-facing path. In the Zen tradition, the great death and the great rebirth. In the Christian tradition, the crucifixion and the resurrection. For the theologians and philosophers amongst you, the apophatic tradition and the cataphatic tradition. The Via Negativa and the Via Positiva. And most traditions, if not all traditions, contain both these two elements, although some emphasize one over the other. In our approach here, I hope that we are balanced equally between these two approaches. Sometimes turning our attention away from the content of experience, sometimes towards it. So the Via Negativa, the way of discrimination, the way of negation, I am not my thoughts, I'm not my feelings, I'm not my sensations and perceptions, I'm not my activities and relationships. This way is a way of, we approach through reality through discriminating what we are not, what is not essential to us. And in this approach we are reluctant to say what we are. What we are simply shines by itself when everything that we are not has been removed from us. What that is, what we truly are, cannot be adequately described in words that have evolved to describe the content of experience and therefore are not suited to describing that which we are, that which truly is, when the content of experience has been removed from us. So in this approach, we go via the way of negation, discrimination, discarding, turning away. It is a way of transcendence. And then there's the Via Positiva, which could be said to be not a way of discrimination, but a way of love. In this way, we do not say, I am nothing. We say, I am everything. It is not a way of transcendence. It is a way of immanence. We do not turn away from experience, we embrace experience. We do not discriminate, we love. In the Via Negativa, the way of negation, we do not approach reality, we descend into it. It's a descent. It's what Rumi refers to when he said, flow down and down and down in ever-widening rings of being. It is a descent, a falling into being. It is what the poet Tennyson referred to when he said, seek knowledge like a sinking star, beyond the utmost reach of human thought. In the Via Positiva, in the way of love, we don't descend into being, we ascend into heaven. We reach for the highest, we don't sink into the lowest. But by lowest I mean the most essential, the primary. The 17th century English poet John Milton described this approach when he said, these are thy glorious works, parent of good, almighty. Thine this universal frame, thus wondrous fair, thyself, how wondrous then. Unspeakable, who sittest above these heavens, to us invisible, or dimly seen in these thy lowest works. Yet these declare thy goodness, beyond thought and power divine. To begin with, it may seem that these two approaches are two opposite or contradictory approaches. But the more deeply we go into them, the more we find that they are really the same approach, languaged in two different ways. One speaks of the inherent emptiness of the mind, the other the fullness of God's infinite being. But they are the same. These two ways are not contradictory, they are complementary. And this was beautifully expressed by Shantananda Saraswati, the late Shankaracharya of the north of India, when he said this. When when you begin to be what you are, you will realize everything. But in order to be what you are, you must first come out of what you are not. You are not those thoughts turning in your mind. You are not those changing feelings. You are not the different decisions that you make or the different wills that you have. You are not that separate ego. Well then, what are you? When you come out of what you are not, you will find the ripples on the water whispering to you, I am that. You will find the birds in the trees singing to you, I am that. You will find the moon and the stars shining beacons to you, I am that. You will find Alan laughing and crying to you, I am that. You are in everything, and everything in the world is mirrored in you. At the same time, you are that, everything. It is only when we go beyond the limitations of our tradition, our teaching, our teacher, and so on, that these two approaches are really unified. As long as we are attached to any tradition, any teaching, any teacher, there is still a limit. It does not mean that we necessarily stop practicing in that tradition. It implies no rejection of a tradition, a teaching, or a teacher. We may still hold that tradition or that teaching in our hearts with great love and affection and respect. But we are no longer bound by them. We are no longer bound by anything or anyone. We are free. And this understanding is concealed in all the traditions. This recognition of the need to go beyond. When Rumi met Shams of Tabriz, the first thing Shams did was to get Rumi to burn all his books. This was symbolic of burning all his knowledge. Transcending knowledge. Balayani, the Sufi mystic, referred to it as the passing away of existence and the passing away of that passing away. When the content of the mind passes away, when we turn away from the content of the mind, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, the inherent emptiness of the mind remains, the essence of the mind. And then there is the passing away of that passing away. Only the unqualified I am remains. We no longer see the painting. We no longer see the absence of the painting. We see the wall. The first passing away is the absence of the painting. The second passing away is the absence of the painting. Then reality shines as it is. exactly the same understanding is expressed in the opposite language on the Via Positiva, where we don't descend into emptiness, we ascend into heaven. But we go beyond that, as Meister Eckhart said, to reach the highest. You have to go beyond the highest to a place where you are no longer yourself, a place where the I Am shines all alone. If we descend into the depths of being, all that remains there is the I Am. If we ascend to the greatest heights, all that is found there is the I Am. The ego tells us, I am something. Discrimination tells us, I am nothing. Love tells us, I am everything. But God does not tell us that I am either something or nothing or everything. God simply says, I am. And you are that, without being you. And God is that, without being God. Thank you.